guys, it's Andrea. So right now I'm pretty frustrated because my anxiety is actually starting to feel like it did when I was at the lowest point in my life. I just woke up this morning, and as my day went on, I just began to feel this overwhelming sense of fear and anxiety, and it's a feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. I mean, up until today I felt quite comfortable with class and quite calm about it, and I don't usually get worked up about it, and it felt really easy for me. And maybe it's the new teacher or the new time or the new students, I'm not really sure, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, the frustrating thing is that after all the work I've done and after all the practice and all the pushing myself and all the pain that I've gone through just to get better, that I am still having this same sickening, frightening feeling when it comes to school. And not just school, but just an environment in which somebody has power over me and somebody has control over me. And that's one of the things that causes the most anxiety for me, is not being in control and not being the one making the decisions in a situation. If I'm in a situation where it isn't up to me whether I can leave a room, or it's, I have to ask to get out of a seat, I have to ask to go to the bathroom, I have to ask to do anything, In a situation like that, that's when I tend to panic, and those are the situations I tend to avoid. So yeah, it's just weird how, you can go for 5, 6, 7 months of feeling decently good and feeling like you for once have things under control, and for once you've figured out, how to feel better. And suddenly that old familiar feeling just comes back, and you don't understand how that could just come out of nowhere like that. But it does for some reason, and it's happened to me. It's not just today, but the past couple weeks I've felt like I've been just sort of followed around by this growing tension and this growing fear, and I'm just scared it's going to turn into a very deep depression or a very deep anxious state for me that I used to be in, and that same anxiety that ruined my life. So I mean, I'm trying to stay positive, and I'm trying to push through it, and I'm trying to just keep going and keep going and keep going, because I know that the one thing that keeps me going when I find it hard to keep pushing is that it won't be long before things start to get better again. Because as much as things tend to get worse at times, they also tend to get better. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It's up and down all the time. And I mean, I don't have any big advice for this for you guys, except for the fact that, and I have this written down so I'd remember how to say it properly. So the only way for me personally that I continue is my determination to see things continue to improve. And the utter frightening, sickening thought of ever going back to the life I used to have. Because really, I'll take one bad day that I had to push through and suffer to get through. Because really, I'll take one bad day that I had to push through than a life of misery and a snowballing anxiety and disappointment of the efforts that I didn't make. Yeah? One second. Than a life of a snowballing misery and disappointment from the effort that I didn't make. But sometimes I feel like the only reason I ever do things in my life is because of the fear of my family's reaction. So the fear of what they would think of me and their disappointment in me. Yeah, that's my dog in the background. But yeah, their disappointment in me and, letting people down. That's an awful feeling, And I know that I would carry that around for a long time if I just let my anxiety tell me when and when not to put an effort forward. So I guess all I have to say is the decision to keep fighting is simple and clear, but it's just not easy. Alright, see you guys.